Hey everyone, here's Aaron. And full disclosure, this is not meant to be taken as a joke or anything. This is legitimately something that I want to just throw out there and share openly, because gender identity is a big part of our life nowadays. And there's people that try to struggle to find out who they really are. No matter what, you have my full support. No matter where you think you're going, who you are valid. That's first and foremost what I want to point out here. This is not meant to be taken as a joke or a stab at gender identity. Next up, I want to say I found this gender identity test 90% accurate quiz to find true gender. I somehow cannot believe that, but it's one of the first that pops out when I just typed in gender identity test. So let's see if this will help me figure out my gender. Honestly, I myself feel pretty solid in what gender I am. But let's see what this test will say about that. I will put this as a link in the description so you can do it yourself as well. I want to point out yet again, these are tests and quizzes that I find on the internet. Everything here is always to be taken with a grain or a spoonful of salt. Don't think too much about what comes out in a test result like this on the internet. Do your own research, search inside of yourself, try to figure it out for yourself. This test may help, but let's just go through and see what the questions are. Finally, here is a real gender identity test that allows you to find out your true gender. Answer 20 questions to see if your biological and mental gender match. What makes you feel like you cannot fit in a specific category? People think I don't like them. People don't understand me. I'm always accused of being extra. People forcing me to choose a gender. People forcing me to change my gender. People think I'm afraid of my gender. People think I don't like them is something that my depression tells me, but I genuinely think, no, it's not true. So that's just my depression talking, the first one here. People don't understand me. That would be a little bit of an ego trip if anything, but I don't feel that. I'm always accused of being extra. I don't think that I've ever been accused of being extra. People forcing me to choose a gender might be one of the more accurate ones, because nobody forces me to change my gender. People force me to choose a gender is probably the thing that fits in the most, because why? What does it matter to you? What is the hardest thing about being an individual like you? Explaining yourself, being left out, not fitting in any group, mood swings, relationship issues, sexual issues. I think the hardest thing is probably always explaining yourself. Because always having to go through the motions and explaining why and everything, that's probably the toughest thing to go through. It's probably the one that would annoy me the most. Because probably being left out is probably a lot tougher on your mental health and your psyche than having to constantly explain something. Not fitting in any group. This is something that I feel like is only on the surface, because there probably is a group out there that you would fit in perfectly. It's just really difficult at the point where you try to figure out who you are to find that group. Mood swings goes with depression as well, so I'm kind of used to them, which is bad. Relationship issues and sexual issues, I'm just gonna rub them in one thing together, because there is understanding partners and not understanding partners in both of those. So depending on how lucky you got with your partner, none of these will be an actual issue. I would know for my partner that none of them would be an issue. So these would not fit for me, so probably explaining myself. How would you like to express your gender? I don't know. Through my style? Through my behavior? Through my dress? Through my words? Or none? Honestly, none. You can do all of them, but that's not what I feel like. I don't feel like I have to express my gender in any way, shape or form. So none. Have you ever felt like no one understands you? If yes, tell us the reason. No. Yes, because I don't fit in their stereotype. That one I feel. Yes, they think I don't match my gender. I think I got that once. Yes, they think I need therapy. Yeah, but again, that's probably more so for the depression than anything. Yes, they think I should change my gender. Never had that one. Yes, they think I should have a gender. That also never happened. Probably the stereotype one. That's probably one where I slide through a lot of things there. What is one thing that people always get wrong about your gender? My beliefs, my sexual orientation, my gender? What do they get wrong about your gender? Your gender! My reasons, my intentions, my feelings. For me, probably my intentions is what would be gotten wrong with my gender, but my beliefs would probably tie not to my gender at all. My sexual orientation, I don't think so. My gender, probably something that people would get wrong if my reasons, that is something that I can see why people would get something like that wrong. My intentions, that is a big one in my opinion for why people get something wrong behind the gender, because what is your intention with doing that? Like, do you want to provoke? Do you want to just have attention? And that is probably a big one. And my feelings, there's a lot with that. But for me, probably the intentions. What is the most challenging thing for you when dating others? Trust, explaining my feelings, explaining my interests, explaining my attitude, explaining my sexual desires, explaining my gender. Now, when it comes to dating, I'm mostly interested, first of all, in attitude and feelings. Interest and everything can differ. They're not that big, because if you have different interests, you can learn from each other, you can expand your horizon. That's okay if they're different. Not too different though, because you want to have some things that you can talk about right off the bat. Like some mutual interests are really good to get to know each other better a lot quicker. But again, different interests are healthy for you, because that way you can broaden your horizon, you can deepen your relationship with trying things that one person really loves. So those things are important. Trust, big one, because any relationship needs trust. If you cannot trust the other person to be honest with you, then the relationship will probably break at one point, because if there's no trust, then, well, a relationship probably does not work too well without trust. My sexual desires is something that we can talk about later, because I don't think while dating that's the first and foremost thing for me. For me, first and foremost, when it comes to dating, I want to know the person. Sexual can come once we're a little bit warm with each other, but that's not something in the foreground. People sometimes don't like me because I don't like them back. I mean, I hate people in general, but I also think that there's a lot of good people out there. But just so we're clear, we're all dicks together. We're all responsible for all the shit that's going on. Yes, some of us try to do better, but we're still dicks. Just want to point that out. Because I'm different. Because I am different. Because I don't match their expectations. That's actually something that I do not care about. If I do not meet someone's expectations, then I'm fine with that. I don't fit in one gender. If people don't like me because of that, that kind of goes the same with expectations, so whatever. Because I like the way I am. If they don't like me because I like the way I am, then screw you. And they don't like me because I don't like their definition of gender. Well, probably, if anything, they don't like me because I don't match their expectations. Which I'm fine with. Screw you, I'm me, and not your expectation. Life is easier when you have a gender, don't care about gender, are happy with your gender, have a fluid gender, can express your gender, or have no gender. I think life is easier when you are happy with your gender, be there one or not. As long as you get to be happy with what and who you are, fuck it. That is what makes it easier. Gender should be a scientific matter, a useless definition, a wide spectrum, changeable fluid, more than male and female, a choice. Probably, well, it is a spectrum, let's start with that. A scientific matter, scientifically there is black and white. And there's also a few grey ones in there because we know about fish and some other animals that, depending on how many male or female there are in a group, they will shift to what is needed at the time. So it's also fluid, it's changeable and fluid as well. We humans did not get endowed with that physical ability, but it is something natural. To me, it's a wide spectrum. There's so much that you can do and be, so be free with it. What is the most stupid part about having a gender? There is no stupid part. Well, being forced to follow cliches, that is really fucking stupid. Boys wear blue, girls wear pink, fuck that. Seriously. Being forced to behave in a particular way, same, yeah, stupid. Being have to choose one. Weirdly worded, but yeah. Being have to accept there are only two genders, that is stupid, yeah. Being have to have a gender. For me, honestly, the most stupid part is following cliches and having to behave a particular part. These two are hands down the dumbest shit. And I think the one that frustrates me more is probably, well, cliches are frustrating at one point, but being forced to have a particular way to behave is the thing that is fucking stupid. So I'm gonna go with that. That's just not okay. Which of the following dressing ideas sounds like fun? Black and white suit. I don't like suits. They look cool and fine and whatever, but no. Something really odd and eye-catching. Also no. A blend of boys and girls dresses. Sometimes like a man, some things like a woman. A man? A man? I'm not sure if the D is supposed to be in there, but there's a D in there, which I'm not sure should be in there. Dressing in the opposite gender's dress style. Dressing with no gender. Honestly, gender neutral dressing rules. I love it. There's so many cool things. Let's go. People who blank gender are the worst. People who dismiss, praise, define, limit, force or choose gender. The ones that force are the worst. Limit is also really bad on there. Define is something scientifical because everything is kind of categorized and defined in science. But science also always changes, so whatever. Dismiss, stupid, praise, really dumb. Choose, do that. But the ones limit and force, they are horrible. So force, personally for me, a bit more than limit, but these two are really hard. It always hurts when someone blanks my gender. Cannot guess, questions, humiliates, defines, demonizes, ignores. Don't care. If you cannot guess my gender, then fuck it. If you question my gender, cool, I guess. If you humiliate my gender, it happens also a lot, as does demonizing, we deserve it. Defines or ignores. If someone defines my gender, then I'm probably getting hurt because I'm not defined by my gender. Not at all. I always have to explain blank about my gender. The rationality, the reality, the boundaries, the nature, the biological aspects and the absence. The absence about my gender sounds really fascinating. I would not ask anyone about that because it sounds like this is something that happens a lot and therefore would be tedious, but it sounds really interesting. Sorry, I don't want you to explain to me the absence of your gender. If you don't have a gender, feel free to be yourself. You don't have to explain it to me. Probably in my case, it would be the reality of my gender. What is the most frequent questions you get about your gender? I don't know. Are you a boy or a girl? Well, I mean, yeah, with Pokemon games, that's actually one that I get asked quite a lot. And I answer it differently every single time. Are you gay? I haven't heard that question in a long time. Why you change your gender? Never heard that one. Would be fun, specifically in that wording, like, why you change your gender? Why don't you change your gender? I cannot say the word gender right now. Why don't you choose a gender? Just from a gaming perspective, the question that I get asked the most is probably, are you a girl or a boy? But that's just because of games, so I don't know if that counts, because otherwise I guess I actually don't know. I would like to have the freedom to blank even if it doesn't match my gender. The freedom to talk about my ideas, choose my style, dress the way I like, change my style, have a partner of my choice. Well, all of them. All of them, like 100%. There you go. I would love to click on all of them. I doubt that I can, but all of them. You should have the freedom to talk about your ideas even if they don't match your gender. Choose your style and your dress code despite not matching your gender. And changing your style and have a partner of your choice no matter of your gender. All of them. For me personally, I would like to have the freedom to probably dress the way I like, which I mean I already do because I like just the way I dress. This is what I feel most comfortable in. I would like people to know that I am not cruel, weak, gay, crazy, scary, depressed just because I look this way. I don't think people would perceive me as cruel. Crazy probably. Weak? Tell me, have you ever thought I was weak? Because I've never got that. I got gay. I think I got scary. I never got depressed. I kinda crazy as well. But I think gay is the one that I got the most, so choose a sentence that you relate to most to. Gender is a vital part of my life. Nope. Gender rules only hold you back. Yeah. You can be whoever you want regardless of gender. Yes. It's fun to experience what other genders feel. Yeah. Solid. Being different does not mean you're not enough. Also, solid. Don't let your gender define you. Really big one there. For me, I am going out there with you can be whoever you want regardless of gender. Feel any freedom that you want. Be whatever you want, whoever you want. It does not matter as long as it brings you freedom and happiness with it. What is the most fun thing about your gender? I don't know. Being rebellious. Not being stuck in cliches, experiencing feelings of all genders. Being a more open-minded person, not being worried about gender rules. Honestly, for me, it's being a more open-minded person because it helps me see the world for who the people are in it. So, yeah, being a more open-minded person. I try to be as open-minded as possible. Final question. What part of your gender makes you proud of yourself? Masculinity/femininity, learning not to judge others by their gender, being brave enough to reject stereotypes, having friends of all genders, yeah, understanding all genders, accepting people regardless of their gender, honestly being brave enough to reject stereotypes. That's what makes me proud of being who I am. You are probably non-binary. You don't like to be forced into one side of the sex spectrum, and you do not really relate to any male or female description. Non-binary or gender queer is a term that many people like you prefer to describe themselves. Maybe it will work for you too. Maybe. Yet again, as an end message there, choose your freedom. Be what you want to be what makes you happy. That's the most important part. Anyway, I hope this video was not insulting to anyone out there. If it was, I want to apologize deeply. It was never meant to be an insulting video. It was meant to be an open video and maybe helpful video. Again, the quiz is down in the description. Try it out for yourself and find out things about yourself. Maybe this will help you in a way. It is kind of fun to think about all of these things, and yeah, just see what comes out for you, and maybe you will find something in the end result. I'm gonna end this with one final. I hope you're doing alright, and see this as a light-hearted way to express your gender, be there one or not, or be there multiples. So thank you all for joining in, and I hope to see you next time. Bye.